What if Trump's Beijing CEO visit is not just a diplomatic moment, but the beginning of a broader shift in U.S. China technology policy? That is the question driving this briefing. At first glance, this looks like a high-profile trip with a group of CEOs. But under the surface, the more important issue may be semiconductor export controls, Nvidia's China exposure, and whether this visit is signaling a limited policy reset. Semiconductors now sit at the center of geopolitics, industrial policy, and market expectations. The US is managing export controls, China is emphasizing self-reliance alongside selective openness, and investors are watching for any sign that the rules are changing. The key actor here is Jensen Huang and Nvidia. Nvidia sits at the center of the issue because China remains strategically important to the company, but it cannot move freely without running into US policy constraints. That creates a commercial trap. Nvidia needs access, but it also needs compliance. Trump is the second major actor. For Trump, the visit offers political unity if it can be framed as a win, a deal, or evidence of strong leadership. China is the third major actor. For Beijing, the value lies in leverage, face-saving language, and the possibility of managed competition rather than escalation. The first question is whether Nvidia files a public export license application for H20 or a similar China-specific chip within 30 days. If that happens, it would suggest the summit created real policy momentum, not just optics. The second question is whether Trump references the delegation in campaign remarks as proof of deal-making. That would show the visit is being converted into political messaging almost immediately. The third question is whether any U.S. China statement uses compromise language, such as responsible technology competition. If that language appears, it would suggest both sides are trying to preserve face while avoiding escalation. The fourth question is whether Congress pushes back. A bill to block semiconductor relaxation would indicate that any softening in policy is likely to face political resistance. The fifth question is market behavior. If Nvidia materially outperforms the broader semiconductor index, it would suggest investors believe a policy shift is becoming more than just a rhetoric. If Nvidia files no application, if Trump never references the delegation, if no joint statement uses compromise language, if Congress does not react, and if Nvidia does not outperform the sector, then the thesis weakens significantly. That is what makes this analysis useful. It does not just offer a narrative, it sets out observable signals that can be checked against reality over time. The larger point is that corporate diplomacy, policy architecture, and financial markets are now tightly linked. A single delegation can shape expectations across government, industry, and capital markets because the signaling environment is so compromised. So the real question is not whether this visit matters. The real question is whether it changes the rules of US-China tech competition even slightly. This video is for informational and educational purposes only and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice.